What is up, YouTube? I am Gallite74 here, bringing you week 5 of the APM. The rivalry, the war continues as this week we take on Jed Swarley, coach of the Monterrey Suicunes. We are both going into this game with a 3-1 record, so whoever wins this will be above the other in the standings. Hope you guys enjoyed the intro there. This is the owner of the APM, the semifinalist in the APM Season 2 and Ocean League, and he is our opponent this week. We have faced Jed in the past, and we have been able to win, but Jed is a very tough opponent to say the least, so we are definitely going to be losing at some point. But hopefully we are going to try and win today. I'm going to throw out there right now that this is a partial meme game, so we have some fire sets coming, as well as some normal standard sets to the team, and hopefully we're going to be able to pick up a win that way, as opposed to the normal way, because we could face in playoffs, and if we face in playoffs, I want to try our hardest with a full sweaty team. But without further ado, I'm going to list off Jed's team. Jed's team consists of our boy Noivern with Z moves. Noivern, our captain, he's really good in Noivern. He knows how to use it. Bronzong, Drapion, Entei with Z moves, Hitmontop, Seismitoad, Raichu, Gramble, which I thought was Gliscopod going up to the match, so just keep that in mind, Gligar, and Cryogonal. Now, again, to reiterate, he's got Noivern, he's got our mascot, he's used Noivern in the Ocean League and in this league, so he knows how to use Noivern very well. Noivern did a lot to us in the Ocean League semifinal game, but he knows how to use it. I have no idea what to expect considering this is a kind of a whack game, so I have absolutely no idea what he's going to bring. With the team that I'm bringing, just the particular team I'm bringing because of, the game, a normal Raichu set would actually put a lot of work in on my team. So that's something I want to note down, as well as Drapion and Entei to an extent, more Drapion, because Drapion's just annoying. Drapion hits super hard with its critical hit moves and all that stuff with Sniper and all that. It's really annoying. But if it gets boosted, it's going to be a serious problem if he brings a normal Drapion set to begin with. But that's his team rundown. I really do like his team, especially because I love Noivern a lot. Hitmontop's kind of cool. Gligar's alright. Actually, I don't really like his team as much as I thought I did. But my team this week, I'm bringing 2 standard sets, 3 memes, and one that's kind of a mix. It's kind of more it's not standard, but it could work in some situations, as that's the type of team we're going to end up bringing. But the team I am bringing this week consists of Roserade, Licky, Rhydon, Togetic, Empoleon, and Sneasel. So, as I just mentioned, the first mon we are bringing this week is going to be Roserade. Roserade is our Arcanine with a Choice Specs, max special attack, 224 speed with a modest nature, moves being Leaf Storm, Hidden Power Ground, a Shadow Ball, and D-Gleam. This is our most standard set of the week, to be completely honest, because I wanted something to just absolutely run through his team effectively. And this is it. Though a lot of things are faster and resist Roserade, Specs Leaf Storm just nukes everything on his team except for Noivern and Bronzong to an extent. But Bronzong does get reliable recovery, and again, half these sets are going to be memes, so even if he does bring something that's faster than Roserade and it resists it, it might be a meme, so it wouldn't really matter in the end too much. And everything that's slower than Roserade, it just straight up dies to Leaf Storm. That's not Bronzong. So that's something very important to note, as well as I have good coverage for the things that do resist it, like D-Gleam one-shots Noivern, in Power Ground, almost one-shots Drapion. I don't think it's one-shot, but it's close to it. And Shadow Ball does a lot to Bronzong. So that was the reasoning behind the Roserade, just something offensively reliably, because I still want to win the game. And this is just our most standard set of the week. It's pretty standard. We're going to move on to a more fun set. Next up, we have Licky. This is a very similar set to our last meme game we had against Jed. This is max attack, adamant nature, 168 speed, with the metronome and own tempo, with defense curl, rollout, explosion, thrash. This is a meme and a half, because we got defense curl rollout, which I used with Dawnfan in the Ocean League, and it works pretty well. I have explosion, because explosion's a meme in itself. And I do have Thrash. I don't want to click Thrash because it's kind of more standard, but I threw it on there just because, Metronome works with Thrash, I think, and Own Tempo prevents myself from getting confused, so after Thrash is up, I won't get confused, have the recoil from it, so that's really neat. Again, this thing either goes boom or I do defense curl rollout, though, so that's kind of the main set behind Licky. It's pretty nice offensive pivot on my teams because it's going to be more offensive, but still got some natural bulk. So, yeah, Licky. Our third model of the week is going to be Rhydon. I originally had Smackdown and Earthquake, but I decided to make this more fun set. I put Earth Power on there. I have Earth Power, Smackdown, Ice Beam for Noivern and Tier 5 Gligar, and Metal Burst. Metal Burst is a really interesting move. It's like counter and mirror coat, but instead of doing double damage, it does 1.5 damage, but it does both sides. So if you hit me with a physical or a special move, I'll return the damage back. And since Rhydon's pretty bulky, especially since I have the Eviolite and max HP, I will pretty much be tanking any hit, and I can just hit back. Hopefully we can get Metal Burst to work. If we don't get Metal Burst to work, we're going to hope to get Smackdown Earth Power to work. So that's something I'm also looking very forward to, like Bronzong. So Smackdown into Earth Power. That would be pretty cool. That is our Rhydon set. Next up, we have Togetic. Togetic is rocking out with the Eviole, max HP, max defense with the Calm Nature, Moves being Dazzling Gleam, Flamethrower, Defog, and Roost. This is our second standard set of the week because it's just a standard Togetic. I needed to take hits from like Hitmontop and Noiverns, so this was my main switch in, as well as Seismitoad, as long as Seismitoad isn't. If it's physically offensive, because I'm expecting like an offensive Seismitoad if he decides to bring it. If he brings a special one, that could be a little scary, but if it's physical, then it's no problem. And it gives me a switch into Gillespie, which I thought, but it's now Granbull, so it's not really a switch into Granbull, but Togetic. Next up, we have Empoleon. Empoleon is our mixed set of the week and our WinCon quote. Max special attack, modest nature, 136 speed, and 120 HP. Moves being agility, Scald, Ice Beam, and Grass Knot. This covers his team very well, and if I can get it to proc weakness policy, then it's going to look really good because he doesn't really have any switch-ins after this. Agility, this outspeeds a max speed Noivern at +2, so that's pretty neat. And yeah, just general coverage is the main win con. This is the way I want to win. If I have to win with Roserade or Togetic, I will. But this is the way I want to win is with this Empoleon. I want this Empoleon set to work, and let's hope it does. And I apologize if I'm being a little bit quieter. It's like really late at night and everyone else is asleep, so that's why I'm being quiet despite the hype energy I am for this game. And lastly, we have our Sneasel. Sneasel's rocking out with max special attack, that solid 35 base special attack, and that speed. Moves being Calm Mind, Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, and Dream Eater with the Psyche MZ. I want to use Psyche MZ Dream Eater so bad. I cannot tell you guys how much I want to use this set. Get one Calm Mind up, and I think like Dream Eater almost knocks out Hitmontop, so I don't think he'll be expecting that if I'm able to get that into the right situation. That's even if he brings Hitmontop. But regardless, if I get a Calm Mind up, I'm probably going to click Psyche MZ unless like Drapion or something like that. But hopefully the Sneasel can do something in this matchup. That's what the goal here for the Sneasel is. And that is going to be the team. It's a quick team builder. Again, people are sleeping in my house, so I can't be as hyped. I'm really hyped for this matchup, but I'm not really showing it as much because, you know, it's late. But we're going to head over to Pokemon Showdown, and we're going to watch this epic battle. Alright, we are here in Pokemon Showdown, and he did not bring the Noivern, which is big sad because we would have loved to see a Noivern in a Noivern versus Northside Noiverns game, but we're not seeing that. I did see a Granbull though, and this is when I learned he had a Granbull, not a Golisopod. Really threw me off guard, but I really don't mind because of this expectations of this matchup. I'm going to lead off with Licky Licky because it's a really good lead except for against Hitmontop or Bronzong. As you see Hitmontop on your screen now. I'm going to switch out to Togetic because it's a good pretty much switch into Hitmontop as he goes for close combat, and that tells me right now that he's a pretty banded Hitmontop to say the least. He told me he was bringing the power before the game, and that is definitely the power, I will not lie. I'm going to go for D-Gleam against his Bronzong, and this is telling me that it's not fully especially defensive. So I'm going to go for Flamethrower. It does a decent chunk. I have the balls to stay in as he clicks Iron Head, and it does under half. As you're going to see here, this max HP, max defense Togetic is actually going to be very helpful in this game. As I'm just going to click Roost on it. I know we can Roost stall it out just to see how much he's going to do. As he brings a Gligar, I'm going to bring in Rhydon because I have Ice Beam on it, and I kind of want to click it. As he just throws up the rocks. That kind of sucks, but it's whatever. I can just click Ice Beam. As I wanted to draw the Bronzong, but the Hitmontop actually comes out, and that's fine. It's going to tank an Ice Beam. Here, I decide to stay in as he clicks Bullet Punch, and again, Bandit Technician does a decent chunk, but I go for Metal Burst, expecting him to click Close Combat as I would have lived it, and I do a chunk to that Hitmontop. So that was a great turn. As this turn, I pulled a double into Empoleon, expecting another Bullet Punch, but he decides to go into Bronzong. I could have set up my weakness policy there and won, but I was scared because a Mach Punch Adamant Technician Bandit just nukes me, so I decided not to set up there in the end. As now I'm a few turns behind. Licky Licky just goes boom, and I get basically a free kill here on the scramble that didn't even become a problem whatsoever. After the game, he told me that was like a Guts Flame Orb set for Granbull, so that's a pretty heat set. Here I go to Roserade because it's all around good counter except for Drapion, so this is just a really bad situation. As I go to Rhydon, and he clicks Acupressure, and he gets an attack boost. And this is huge because since I don't have Earthquake, I have Earth Power. You're going to see this Earth Power only does like 43%. It's a decent chunk, but not a crazy amount. This really sucks because at this point, I have nothing really faster than this thing except for Sneasel, and Sneasel has Ice Beam on it. So this is looking really bad. I'm going to go into Sneasel. My only hope to win this game at this point is just to freeze this Drapion. So hopefully we can get the Ice Beam freeze. As I click Ice Beam, and it does 19%, and we don't freeze. But this tells me that this Drapion actually is really bulky. So I actually do have some signs of hope left, is that this Roserade I have is actually faster than this Drapion. I'm really hoping it is, because if it isn't, then I just lose. So I'm going to click HP Ground, praying that I'm faster, and I'm faster. And this Drapion goes down. That was a huge threat eliminated, and now things are looking much better now. As he goes out to Gligar, I'm going to save my Roserade for a little bit later. It's still very useful. I'm going to go on to Togetic, take the rocks damage. as he throws out an Earthquake, and that's fine. If he wants to use like Rock Slide next, it's completely fine. Gligar's relatively weak, as he just goes down to Hitmontop. I guess he was trying to sack it. I'm trying to set for my win con late game, which is going to be the Empoleon. I can weakness policy up, as he goes for Earthquake, predicting me to switch out into Empoleon, but I go for Decaleem. I decided to stay in because Bullet Puncher is only doing like 30%, even with the Technician Banded boosted. As now at this point, Empoleon's pretty much primed to win, as long as I can get it in. This Seismitoad, it fears me. More nightmares come up, as if this is a special Seismitoad, I kind of lose the game as well, as luckily he throws out the Ice Punch, and it is a physical Seismitoad, as I'm just going to try and roost all this out. If Seismitoad's not in rain, it's not that scary, but if it is in rain, it is, because, you know, Rose Raid. So I need to stall out this rain a bit. I'm just going to spam Roost for a bit, and since he's Life Orb, I know it's only 5 turns. As he goes into the Bronzong, that's fine with me, as I'm just going to click Flamethrower this turn. This is sort of a misplay, but I didn't want to, like, switch in on an Earthquake, so I just want to see what he's going to do. Is he just clicks Iron Head on my Togetic, and now I'm going to switch into Empoleon. Hopefully he still clicks Iron Head, and this is going to be the time that I'm going to try and click Agility, which is what I should have done. But in the end here, the rain goes away, and I didn't want him. I should have clicked Agility here, so I click Scald and get rid of the Bronzong. I did this because Rose Raid can just straight up win now in the late game, but here I'm thinking, okay, Empoleon just wins the game, as this Gligar's faster and it knocks me out. This is also a Banded Gligar. He told me after the battle this was a Banded Gligar, and that I kind of made that assumption with going into Togetic here, so I can roost up on it since I am slower than it. Gligar is naturally faster than Empoleon, and I did sort of forget that. If I agility'd up on that Bronzong and he clicked Earthquake, I would have won the game right there. So that was a misplay on my part, but hopefully here at this point in the game, it's looking pretty good knowing this thing is banded. He can't switch into Seismitoad because Seismitoad doesn't want to take a Decaleem from this Togetic. And being physically defensive and that Seismitoad being physical is really big in this game, because I get a crit on this Gligar. It's really big because I'm going to knock out this Gligar here, right? And if this was a special Seismitoad, Ice Beam would have, or Hydro Pump or whatever, would have been two-shotting Togetic, and I wouldn't be able to stall out the Seismitoad out a bit. Seismitoad's 62%, and all he has to do is freeze me to win the game, as he freezes me and crits me. But I thaw out, and I am able to get the Decaleem off. This is a really big turn because he needs the rain to beat Rose Raid. And if he would have clicked Rain there, Decaleem would have been two-shotting him, and he would have needed to freeze me. And since he clicked Ice Punch there, he clicks Rain Dance now. And at this point, it's just GG because I can just knock it out with Decaleem. And if he clicked Ice Punch and, you know, crit me again, then Rain's not up, and Rose Raid would have been able to come in and revenge it. So that is going to be the game. We are able to beat Jed 2-0 in this pretty exciting battle, I ain't gonna lie. But GG to Jed. I'm not gonna lie, that replay went by pretty fast. I usually have an okay time at keeping up with the replay, but that was a little bit faster, so I apologize for that. But I'm really glad we got to get use some memes, especially like Metal Burst Rhydon, Ice Beam on Sneasel to scout out that Drapion set. Explosion is always a fun meme, so I'm really glad we got to use some things, as well as on his side, he had Bandit Gligar, Acupressure Drapion put in a lot of work, and we both brought Offensive Water sort of as our win con, so that was really hyped to see that. So once more time, GG to Jed. That was a really exciting battle, and hopefully we meet in the playoffs and have a real battle that time around. But we are going to move up to a solid 4-1 record with a lot of good differentials, so that is really good and primed to win for playoffs. Next week we take on Muta, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, and I do not know their team name, so we're going to get to that next week. And I do not know what they have on their team either, so that's also going to be saved for next week. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.